Rachel Irons, Tatiana Sharpton. You're the founder, but also I see it is a kind of looks like a mixed effort of various founders of Nude Foods Market.
Yeah, there's 4 of us. We're all equal partners, co-founders. Did you want to know about each one?
Well, first, when did you guys launch?
So we did our first delivery July 1st.
Okay, I thought it was very recently.
Yeah, pretty recent.
And did you already have like the vision? Were you guys all kind of collectively thinking about this vision already before COVID hit? Because it's very timely.
Yeah, so we were actually planning to open a store. That was the original vision, and then pivoted because of COVID.
Yes. And do you think that you're going to keep with this the way you're doing it now, or do you plan to like return to possibly doing a storefront?
This is the discussion. We have been planning to open the store, but the delivery is going pretty well. COVID's still a thing, so people still want delivery. So we're still in a little bit of a wait and see for that, but the plan is to open the store, just we don't know when.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's back up and go back to what was it that sparked the idea? Because you guys, let me just lay it out what I think you do. You provide an online market where people like I can shop for these various products. I saw there's lots of like just very, very whole foods, like beans and like lentils and different, and then like honey and butters and different things like granolas. So you can shop for all these various things, and then you guys deliver it, or we can pick it up one day a week, and then we also can leave our the remnants of like the egg cartons and things, and you'll pick that up as well on Wednesdays.
Yeah, so we have dry goods. We have 3 categories of products, kind of dry goods, like you said, beans, nuts, seeds, oils. And then we have produce, and all of our produce is rescued. So that means it was either the second, so it's a little misshapen, or it might have a little bruise on it, but it's still perfectly good, or overstock. So sometimes farmers just have extra that, in zucchini season, there's too many zucchinis.
Yeah.
So we waste 40% of our food in this country. So as part of our zero waste store, we're trying to tackle that as well as the packaging. And it also helps farmers out a lot if we can buy that produce that would otherwise just go to the compost. So that's the produce side. And then we also have local products, which are really cool because we get them in a reusable container directly from the supplier, the producer that made them. So there's no packaging anywhere along the line, which is awesome.
What kind of stuff is that?
We have like chips, we have flax crackers, we have popcorn, we have pasta, apple chips, we've got truffles, pickles, olives, just looking down the line here. We've got spiced sunflower seeds. We're getting potato chips in today. We already have tortilla chips.
So what was your original vision? Like what sparked the whole thing aside from the waste?
Yeah, so it was a little bit different for each of us. For me, I had thought of this a while ago as maybe in some point in my life, if I could do this, it would be super cool. And then more recently, my partner and I were refinishing a concrete floor, and the idea came up again. And I was managing these 3 shared commercial kitchens, solid ground kitchens in Boulder. And one of them had an extra room that I'm in right now that wasn't being used and didn't really have a use. And so I went to my boss, Matt, and was like, hey, what if we turn that room into a zero waste grocery store? He was like, yeah, let's do it. So he jumped in. So it was my partner, Jimmy, Matt, and I kind of thinking this up. And then we were introduced by one of the members at the kitchen, actually, to Verity, who has been wanting to start a zero waste store for 5 years. And but yeah, didn't have the time to do it all on her own. So it was kind of the perfect meeting. We all have different skill sets that all mesh together really well. So yeah, we started remodeling the store late January, February. we got halfway through when COVID hit. So switched to the delivery model, which has actually been working out great. It's easier to start than a store in a lot of ways. People seem to like it, and it's definitely filling a need.
Yeah, I'm sure, especially right now. Do you have a lot of like repeat customers, or?
Pretty much everyone is on a subscription. So like our produce box is a subscription. We also have a local bites box. That's all local snacks, all zero waste. Oh yeah, and so we package everything in mason jars and then deliver on bicycle. And then the next week we pick up the empty jars and bring them back. And since we're attached to a commercial kitchen, it makes it really easy. We've got like commercial dishwasher to sanitize everything.
That makes sense. Yeah, to sanitize. It makes a lot of sense. So how? Let me see. Yes. So were you and so now like, how do I say it? So you were already in Boulder, and so this just fits the Boulder space. Because I was going to ask like why Boulder, but I'm going to change the question. Like, how do you feel that you're giving Boulder something it doesn't already have? Like, what are you adding?
Yeah, so there are a couple other zero waste stores in Colorado in general. There's only one other one that does food, which is Simply Bulk in Longmont, which is awesome. But it's crazy that Boulder didn't already have a zero waste store for food, and it's so needed. Like so many people are like, oh my gosh, finally it's here.
Yeah.
So there are, I mean, you can like, there are bulk. There are, sorry, there's people in the kitchen. There are, bulk sections of grocery stores, but it's not set up to bring your own container. Like you're supposed to use a plastic bag to fill, which is kind of like, what's the point of that? Some stores, a lot of stores won't even let you use your own container because they say there's like health issues with that, which there aren't. So the problem is like our whole food system is set up for single-use packaging. And so you kind of have to build a separate system to get rid of the packaging. Like the only way that this works is because we're kind of doing everything from start to finish. Like we're getting stuff from the producers in a reusable container, and then we put them in a smaller reusable container, and then we deliver those, pick up the container, and like bring it back and wash it. So yeah, it's kind of hard to do it half-heartedly. You have to go all the way there for it to really work.
That makes sense. Yeah. So what are some of your the farmers where you source your foods and products?
Yeah, so they're, at least in the summer, they're pretty much all around Boulder. We got stuff from Kilt Farms, which is up a little bit towards Longmont, Metacarbon Organic Farm, up on the way to Lyons, some from Matthews Farm. Those were our main suppliers this summer. And then now that it's winter, we're having to get a little more creative. But we just started sourcing from Altius Farms, which does hydroponics in Denver.
Right? Yeah.
Cool. And then there's also the East Denver Food Hub is really cool. They source from farmers all the way from Fort Collins to Colorado Springs and connect them with buyers. We're a buyer. So, so from them, we also get some food from a distributor in Denver that specializes in rescued food, which is really cool. So we can get a little bit more variety with them. And then we're getting microgreens from Forever Green Farms. They're up in Fort Collins.
Okay, cool. And then how do you, what's been the biggest challenge? So launching the business this year? And
well, kind of unrelated to anything else going on would definitely be our website.
Yeah.
That's the one piece we're missing, is none of us has a really technical background. So Jimmy has stepped up and taken on that role, but he's not trained in it. So yeah, exactly. And apparently what we're doing with subscriptions and all the options we have is incredibly complicated. It didn't seem like it was, but from a technological point, it's difficult. And so the website has been a constant struggle, and it's getting better every day. But
It looks good.
thank you. But yeah, it's just things keep popping up there that you didn't expect. And it's just funny because we were originally planning on starting a store, and then when we switched to the delivery model, it's like, oh, now we're an e-commerce business.
Right? Like
So of course all of our problems are going to be technological.
Yeah, I think that's it's always good to hear like what people really struggle, because we're just like regular people doing something, like doing what you want to, doing something you believe in, but there's always these elements that are like real bumps you run into. And especially this year, I feel like a lot of people, of course COVID has been like incredibly hard for everybody, but it seems like that's like the easy answer, like, okay, well this is hard, but like really the thing you're struggling with like is also this, because now that's like the new normal. So now it's like, what's the struggle in this, like this environment.
For sure.
So where I was going to ask as well, how do you feel that this that Nude Foods Market exemplifies like a Boulder's food lifestyle or culinary lifestyle?
Yeah, so I mean, Boulder is very environmentally conscious for one, and then really into the local food, and we get a lot of local food. I mean, in the summer, our produce is 100% local. We have to supplement a little bit now, but we're still getting as much as we can local. We're already working with like, I think close to 15 to 20 local companies, which for how new we are, I think is really good. Yeah, and so connecting people to all these different local foods. I mean, Boulder has an amazing local food scene, and we have a lot of it here. Yeah, and I mean, really just being like authentic all the way through the process. Like our goal is to have the minimum possible impact all the way through. So like, that's why we deliver on bikes. Like, would it be easier to deliver in a car? Yes. We're not. Like, we're trying to reduce our impact as much as possible all the way through. And that makes it really easy for our customers to make that choice. Like, okay, I know my impact's going to be the lowest it possibly can be if I shop with Good Foods.
How do you, and this is just a physical question, how does the biker deliver to all the different places? Do you have like a big backpack, like Santa style, or?
We have trailers.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. You hook onto the bikes.
Yeah, so they're all repurposed, that we've somewhat converted. Like, some of them are old kids trailers that we just like put a platform on. You've seen Boulder Food Rescue biking around. It's kind of a similar setup to what they have. And then we actually have a volunteer bike program. So people can come and do a bike route, which takes about 2 hours, and they get a produce box in exchange for that. Yeah. And we are looking for more bikers, so if anyone's interested.
Well,
it's a pretty good deal. You get a lot of produce.
Yes.
And exercise. It's very good exercise.
I believe it, especially with the hills that Boulder has.
Yeah, the hills and the weight, it's like you're biking 3 times as long.
I'll have to consider this, but
yeah, it's very efficient.
So is there anything else that we haven't covered? Like, did you come from Boulder originally? I forget.
No, I'm originally from Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh, okay. And how do you feel the Boulder's food scene, like everything you've described, compares to where you've lived previously?
And Alaska is like, it's its own thing. The local thing is starting to be more popular in Alaska, but it's just, a lot fewer resources up there. Like, I mean, Boulder has everything, and like, so I mean, it's just such a hub for food businesses that it's an amazing place to start a store like this, because I mean, in what other place could you source like pasta and crackers and chips all in like a 5-mile radius? And I just think it's so cool that we can get these products that normally you would never ever be able to find without packaging, and we can get it without any packaging all the way back to the source.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much. I think we got everything I need. If I have any more questions, I will definitely shoot you an email and follow up. Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, also I guess just the quality of the food that we're able to offer, because packaging, basically anything that's packaged, is going to be older, right?
Right.
And anything that comes to your traditional supermarket, like it was made in a factory and then packaged, and then it went to a distribution center, and then probably another distribution center, and then maybe to your store where it sat on the shelf for a couple of weeks and then got out. But if you're going directly to the producer, when you're cutting out all those middlemen, and then the producer actually gets a lot more money from that because they're not having to pay all these other steps.
Yeah.
They're not having to pay for packaging, and it's going to be a lot fresher because it has to be, like, if it's not in a perfectly sealed plastic pouch. So yeah, it's just, we're trying to make a healthier food system in general, and that helps out the producers. It helps out our customers. They're getting healthier food, fresher food, food that's not encased in plastic. And then obviously it helps out the environment by, we're again getting food closer to the source, takes less energy, not creating packaging, and then we're also trying to tackle the food waste. So trying to hit as many areas as possible.
Yes.